Hey everyone, and welcome to Isms by Josie. Today we're going to be continuing doing this Cozy Cottage Sampler Afghan from Annie's. For my returning subscribers, thank you so much for tuning in. And for my new viewers, please consider subscribing, share, hit that like button, leave a comment below, and click on that notification bell for future videos. So today, you guys, we're going to be continuing block number 17. We did 16 last video, and here is what it looks like. These are big. I forget how big they are, but I don't even know how many I've done. I'm sure all of you know, because it's been a while since I've done these. So it can't be much. But anyway, if you're not aware about Annie's, it's a monthly subscription. You can have it sent monthly or bi-monthly. And is it bi-monthly or bi-weekly? They send once a month or twice a month. You just have to pick. But each kit is about 20 bucks. So plus tax and shipping. So if you can imagine. But in reality, if you were to buy, because I've looked for handmade Afghans like this, and they're hundreds of dollars. And I'm like, excuse me, ma'am? I'm like, why? And I understand why. This was like a long time ago, I'm sure. The price has appreciated over time, and I appreciate handmade stuff now. So see what I did there? Anyway, yeah, so I think I did the math a long time ago, and I'm like, all right, so it's a few $100s for a blanket. Makes sense, I guess. But anyway, you can end up making this yourself once you get the kit, because you can keep the instructions and do it as many times as you want with as many different colors. You don't even have to do all the blocks. You can just do whatever pattern you like and make it the whole blanket. I can never finish a whole blanket on its own, so it's good that this is separated into blocks. But as we know, I can't even do that because I started this, I think, in 2024. Goodness gracious. At any rate. Alright, so let's do block 17. Due to copyright, I cannot share the instructions. You're going to have to go on Annie's and get this yourself. I think this is one of their standard blankets that you can get with them. They do have other ones. I am going to do another one after this one. Whenever that happens, I don't know. But I've got I think it's the Moroccan one or the Mediterranean one. I can't remember what name it was. But anyway, so we're going to do block 17. Don't worry about the skill level because it really doesn't matter. Sometimes the easy ones trip me up as well. So, but they give you hooks. They give you a lot actually. So they give you hooks, and these are the hooks that you're going to need. The instructions tell you which hook to use first, so you just have to pay attention to that. They also give you stitch markers. I have had all my stitch markers just put together in baggies over time, so I don't know what the original ones were. I think the original ones in the kit come in orange and green. In 2 baggies. They also give you a needle. I don't know where I put that, but I have a bunch of needles because I save all my kits, all the tools for my kits. And they also send you 3 spools of yarn to make the 3 blocks. Now, let me stand corrected. The first initial kit that you get with Annie's, they give you the hooks and the stitch markers and the needle. I think there might have been more, but I could be wrong. But that's the only time you get these. They're made out of metal. These are good quality hooks, so don't lose them. But every month you will get the instructional booklet, and then you'll get 3 spools of yarn. If it's 3 blocks, there might be 1 booklet with 2 blocks. I can't remember. But anyway, so now let's show the yarns. I think this is the color that I need. Yes. So it's a Premier yarn, which is a nice, good quality yarn, and it's anti-pilling. I will be the judge of that. I've never used this before. Apparently it's exclusive in Premier. So does that mean no one else can sell anti-pilling yarn? I wonder. But it's very soft, you guys. So soft. I cannot wait to have this blanket done because this is something I can see myself using. Now, one trick is there's two ends of the spool, obviously. There's the outside one and then the inside end that gets tucked in when they spool it up. So usually you can find the outside one very easily. If it's not sticking out somewhere, for some reason they tuck it inside. So you think that this is the inside one, but it's not. We're going to pull this, and it's just going to pull out the end of the outside. And I don't like using that one because that means that you have to remove the band that keeps it nice and together. And it rolls around when you pull it. So what I like to do is find the other end that's on the inside. And the question is, how hard is it going to be to find it? Because sometimes it's just sitting out there and you see it clear as day and you can just pull it out. Other times, ooh, like that. Lucky day. Other times it's deep in there. Check both sides too. If you can't see it just sitting there, then what I recommend, and I do this all the time, I take 1 or 2 strands and I'll pull it out and a whole chunk will come out with it, right? Some chunks are bigger than others. If you're lucky, it's not a big chunk. If you're not lucky, it's a big chunk. But either way, you want to pull that out because no matter what happens, once you find this end, right now I think it might be heavy enough. All I have to do is pull. No spinning. Comment below, click that like button, let me know if you hate the spinning when you pull your feeder yarn. Alright, so I'm going to stop before that goes a little nuts. I'm going to put this aside. So again, can't share the instructions. My video just teaches you the stitch in case, you know, because some people are visual learners. Some people are like, you know, I don't want to say at the moment learners. What is it called? When you need a demo, like at the same time that you're doing it. But yeah, there's people that do that and some people that need to hear it as well. So that's what my video does. Alright, I'll also go over some instructions and how to read it because sometimes that's confusing too. Sometimes instructions should be universal and most of the time they are. But some might have a little difference, like some people use parentheses, some people use brackets. You just never know sometimes. Alright, to speed up or slow down the video, you can click on the gear button in the corner. There's playback options to go fast or slow. If you don't want to hear me, I have tea right next to me because my voice is starting to crack. I did a video before this one. You can always lower the volume on your device and click on the CC closed caption button. But let's get started. So we're going to do some chains. I'm going to teach you how to do that, but first we have to learn how to do a cast on with a slip knot. So take your hook, and I'm going to show you how to do a cast on with a slip knot. So we're going to use our pinky, ring, and thumb and hold one end. Then we're going to use our index and middle and hold the other end. Then we're going to take our crochet hook and you're going to lie it perpendicular to the yarn. And then we're going to take our hook and go down, out, and around to create this loop around your hook. You can slide your hook up and down. We're going to slide it down towards our thumb and then take our middle finger and hold it where it crosses. Okay, then you can let go of your left hand, and then we're going to gather up some feeder yarn. So once we're here, you're going to re-pinch the end here, and we're just going to scoot down our hook closer to our thumb, and where it crosses, you just want to pinch it so that you can no longer slide this hook up and down. From here, we're going to yarn over, which is pretty much putting this feeder yarn over the hook. So, yarn over, and then we're going to pull this yarn over through this loop. So, hook it, and pull it through the loop. So now you can overhand your hook like this, and we're going to repinch the end right here. Now we're going to take this knot and we're going to slide it as close to our thumb as possible. We're trying to eliminate the amount of waste that we make with this excess piece. And I'll show you what that is. So keep pushing till you can't push anymore. The excess piece is this little bit here. This is how much I've wasted, which is nice. I like that. So now you can grab this and just tug on it a little bit to make the knot more snug. You don't have to go crazy about it, just a little snug. Alright, so now what we're going to do, we're going to grab this knot and we're going to slide it up towards the hook. You want to leave a decent amount of room for your hook so we can start our first row. Okay, so we're going to learn how to do chains now. A chain is the most basic stitch in crocheting. So what you want to do is hold the knot right here with your thumb and your middle finger. Okay? You want to hold this to stabilize your project. If you don't hold it, you're going to be chasing yourself forever. Right? Like a dog with its tail. Alright, so hold the knot. We're going to yarn over, which is the feeder yarn over the hook. Yarn over, and we're going to pull the yarn over through this loop. And that is a chain stitch. That's as simple. There's actually a stitch there is a stitch simpler than this. But anyway, so let's look at our chain stitch. Our chain stitch is made up of 3 loops. We have a loop right here, a loop right here. You turn it on its side. There's a loop at the back here. I call it the back hump. And there's a reason why I'm explaining these parts to the chain for the second row. So keep that in mind. All right, we're going to do another chain. So we're going to yarn over, putting the feeder yarn over the hook. And then we're going to pull this yarn over through the loop. So now we have 2 chains, and I'm inconsistent. This one is shorter than that one. So as a beginner, you want to practice making your stitches the same. But again, a loop on this side, a loop on that side, turn it on its side, and you can see the back hump right here. All right, let's do this one more time with you guys. So yarn over, pull the yarn over through the loop, making another chain. Now as we look at the chain like this, it looks like a braid. So that's how you know you're doing it right, and you want to make the braid look nice. So being consistent with your stitches is always helpful. But again, loop on this side, loop on the other side, you flip it on its side, and there's a loop on the back. Alright, so you can rewind this video as many times as you need until you complete all the chains required for row 1. But I'm going to go ahead and finish up these chains, and then we're going to come back to do whatever it is it wants us to do. So. Alright, so now what you want to do is always check to make sure you have all the stitches required. You're going to do this for the end of every row, but since this is the first row is very important, I'm just going to go and count this off camera. 1, it's closer to my face, and I can see it. Alright, So once you've double checked to make sure that you have the right stitch count, we're going to do the next part of row 1, and this is pretty universal no matter where you go, with chains and doing single crochet stitches right after. Had to take a sip of tea. Alright, so this is pretty universal, so I can show you step by step how to do this. So from the hook, we're going to do a single crochet stitch, and when you do this, you have to build the height of the row. So we're not going to stick our hook into the first stitch, we're going to stick it into the second one. So count the second stitch from the hook, 1, 2, and we're going to stick our hook into the second chain or stitch, whatever you want to call it. But what I'm going to do is turn it on its side, and I'm going to put my hook into the back hump. Okay, so do that now, and make sure you're not splitting your yarn. You want to make sure you got every bit of it, and you'll be able to see that easily. This is a light color yarn, but let's take a look at it. So we put the hook into the back hump. It's one loop back here. If we turn this upside down, we have that nice braid still intact. So that's why I do that. The instructions in this booklet don't tell you to do that, but I like to do that. So you can do it either way. If you don't do it this way, you just stick your hook into this top loop here for each of them, but I recommend doing it this way. Okay, so we're going to finish off this single crochet stitch. Let's do a yarn over. We're going to pull through a loop right here. So now we have 2 loops on our hook. Then we're going to yarn over, and you're going to pull through those 2 loops. So that is a single crochet stitch, and of course I'm going to do this more than once with you guys. But first, looking at the instructions, it only has you doing 1 single crochet stitch, and then you see a bracket. So what that bracket is we're going to focus on the instructions inside this bracket. Let's not look ahead yet. Let's just focus on this one. So what it wants us to do is chain 1. We know how to do that. And then SK. So SK pretty much is skipping. It means skip. So we're going to skip a stitch, and then we're going to go do a single crochet stitch. So skip your stitch here, and we're going to do a single crochet stitch in the next one. So again, I'm going to use the back hump, and we're going to yarn over. We're going to pull up a loop so that we have 2 loops. Then we're going to yarn over, and we're going to pull through those 2 loops. Right, so now I've shown you how to do a single crochet stitch 2 times. I'm going to show you how to do it 1 more time. But yeah, so that's pretty much the bracket. Now it says across, so that means that you just have to do this bracket over and over again. Over and over again. It should sound a lot better than that. We just have to do this all the way across. So hopefully that sounds better. So let's do that. We're going to chain 1. We're going to SK, skip, and then we're going to do one more time with you guys, a single crochet stitch. Stick your hook into the back hump. We're going to yarn over. You're going to pull up a loop, so you have 2 loops, yarn over, and pull through those 2 loops. Okay. So now that we've done the single crochet stitch 3 times, all you have to do is repeat the brackets according to the instructions, and then we're going to turn it. I usually forget that part. To say it. I don't forget to do it. I forget to say it. But anyway, to finish off reading these instructions, at the end of the instructions there is parentheses. That's going to be your stitch count. So it tells you how many of what stitch you should have. All right, so that's how you're going to double check yourself when you're done. But I'm going to finish row 1 and then we're going to come back to show you the turn. All right, just chiming in on this last one here, because we have this little excess piece. I'm going to try to hide it. It might not do it, but I can always attempt it. So I'm just going to flatten this excess piece on the hook. And I'm going to make sure that I do a yarn over right over it. So it's going to flatten it like that. Oops. So I'm going to go about doing my single crochet stitch, and hopefully by the end of it, because I flattened it and stitched right over it, it's kind of stuck in there. So hopefully it stays that way. If not, you can always tuck it in when we do the edging. If you don't get to tuck it in then, you could always try tucking it in when you do the squares together. I don't know if we're sewing it together or crocheting it together, but there's opportunities to hide excess pieces like this. Or you can just trim it. Alright, so we finished row 1. And we're going to do the turn. So the turn is basically doing it this way. When we had our chains, the chains were on our left. So if you're a righty, your chain is your stitches are always going to be on your left so that you can start the new row. If they're on your right, it means you just completed it and you're going to have to turn it left to start the next row. All right, so for row 2, the first 2 stitches are fairly simple. We've done them before. So let's go ahead and do that. And when it says the first stitch, it's talking about the same one that we just did that first chain. So stick your hook into that, because sometimes it's like, oh, does that count as one? No, the chain pretty much counts as the height. So single crochet stitches are usually 1 chain high, if that makes any sense. But anyway, we're going to do our single crochet stitch. And then we have another set of brackets. So we're introducing a new stitch, and I'm going to show you how to do it. So DC stands for double crochet, and let me show you how to do that. So you're going to yarn over. We're going to put our hook into this space here. And when I say space, remember those chains that we did? If you pull this apart, you can see that they create spaces. So rather than put it in the chain, which will be, it's doable, but it's tough, you can just put it in the space. So I'm going to put my hook into the space, and I'm going to yarn over and pull up a loop. So now I have 3 loops on my hook. Then I'm going to yarn over and I'm going to pull through those 2 loops. And then I'm going to yarn over and pull through the last 2 loops. So that's a double crochet stitch. So now we're going to do a single crochet stitch. So stick your hook into the next stitch over and do a single crochet stitch. Alright, so I'm going to show you how to do the double crochet stitch 2 more times. So let's go back to the bracket and let's do a double crochet stitch. You're going to yarn over, you're going to put your hook into that chain space, then we're going to yarn over and you're going to pull up a loop. So now you have 3 loops. We're going to yarn over and you're going to pull through those 2 loops, yarn over and pull through those 2 loops. Okay, then you're going to do the rest of the bracket, and I'm going to show you how to do a double crochet stitch 1 more time. So yarn over, put your hook into that chain space, we're going to yarn over and pull up a loop, so you have 3 loops, yarn over and pull through those 2 loops, yarn over and pull through those 2 loops. Okay, so I've shown you how to do the double crochet stitch 3 times. I'm going to go ahead and finish off these brackets, and then we're going to turn and I'm going to come back into the 3rd row and see what it is, but it looks like it might be a repeat of row 1. So let's see. Alright, so I finished row 2. we're going to turn it. Okay. So now we're going to do row 3, and it is looking like row 1 a little bit. So let's just do the chains and the single crochet stitches before the brackets first. And then for the brackets, we're going to be doing chains, skip stitches, and single crochet stitches. Yeah, so similar to the first. So let's do all that. And then I'm going to come in the end and turn, and I'm going to tell you what the next rows are, because it seems like this will be the pattern. Alright, so I finished row 3. What I'm gonna do actually is take a stitch marker, and I'm going to place this right under the last stitch we made underneath that braid. So here's the front loop, here's the back loop. I'm going to just slip this under both of those loops. Make sure you're not piercing in between the loop, that you've got everything. See, it's nice and clear. Close this up. We're going to turn it. Now that stitch marker is going to stand. Wow, why is the accent there? I'm from New Jersey. This is going to stand for row 4. And it looks like the next instructions are going to work from row 4 to row 28. So they do give you a lot of stitch markers, so use them. This is 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, and 28. Right, let me just double count. I like to double count. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. Alright, so we know that we're using the same instructions for rows 4 through 28, which is repeating other rows, so that's always fun. But these markers are going to help you keep track of what row you're on, such as long as you know that the first one that we put is row 4. So this is great for when you need to stop and take a phone call, stop and have a meal, go to the bathroom. Maybe you have something going on and you can't get back for a few days or a few weeks. As long as you know where, how to count your stitch markers on here, you'll know what row you're on. Alright, but I'm going to do this in silence, and then we'll come back in for row 29. So I completed rounds 4 through 28. We're going to do 29 now. And we are going to switch to the smaller hook. So you just have to take this one out, slip the smaller one in. And what we're going to do is we have to divide up the stitches required for round 29 down the edge of this square. So this is how it was, and I just rotated it. I did clip the last stitch of that row 28, and in this case it doesn't really tell you, but just divide the number of stitches per row. These stitch markers should actually help you count that out. So but we're going to do single crochet stitches. But first, we're going to do the height for it, of course. So we are going to chain 1. All right. And then I'm going to do the single crochet stitches across. I think I have about 20 minutes left of this. Oops. Left of this video, so I might just do this edge here and then the turnaround. Well, I'll just finish this round 29. I'll do 2 sides, I think, and then I'm going to do the rest offline, just so that offline, off camera, so that I can save some time on this video. All right, let me just check the count here. Okay. So we did one side, And then around this corner, we're going to be doing a number of single crochet stitches in that one stitch. So let me see here for a sec. Okay. So we're going to be doing single crochet stitches in the same space. So that's kind of simple enough. When we get around this edge here, it should be easier because there's stitches here. Okay, so let's do that. Hold on a sec. Okay, and then of course, because this is the bottom, the first chain stitches we did, because we use the back loop only, it's going to be easier to see these stitches. So normally you would only see one side of these loops, but because we did the back hump, you could see two, so it's easier to work with. Alright, so let's do the next stitches. Alright, now that we've reached the other corner, this actually has more stitches than the last block we did. So I'm just going to skip the stitches that I don't need. It's fine. They won't even notice. Okay. And I'm doing, wait, did I? Yeah. And then we're gonna do the single crochet stitches in the same stitch. All right. So for time purposes, oh, I just hit the camera. For time purposes, I'm just going to do the remaining sides. It's pretty much the same as the first two that we did, but this is coming along. I'll come back in and I'll show you how to fasten off. Well, to join and then fasten off. Alright, so I did all the edges, and we're going to be doing a join, which is basically a slip stitch. So I don't think we've done that yet. So, oh yeah, earlier I said that the chain stitch is the most basic crochet stitch. I mean, slip stitch is even smaller than that. So we're going to go to the first single crochet stitch that we made, and you're going to put your hook in there. Now remember, we did the chain for the height. Oh, I actually put this in the wrong hole. Hold on a second. I told you before that the this way has extra stitches, and I did put a stitch marker in the last stitch, but I don't know why I missed that. So let me just do my corner real quick. Alright, sorry about that. Okay, so remember in the beginning we did a chain 1, but we're not going to put our hook in the chain 1. It says to put it in the first single crochet stitch, which is this one. So that chain 1 is supposed to be the height. This is a little stretched, so that's why it looks like it's a horizontal stitch here. But put your hook into that first single crochet stitch that we made, and we're going to yarn over, which I kind of already did, yarn over, and we're going to slip through all the stitches. That's a slip stitch. Alright, so from here, I'm going to cut about 1 inch or so of the yarn, and we're going to fasten this off. So yarn over, we're going to pull through the loop all the way out, then we're going to tighten this up. Then I'm going to take the smaller hook here, and I'm just going to weave in and out of the stitches. Here, we're going to pull this in, yarn over, and just drag it in here. And this is how I'm going to hide that excess piece. You could always trim it if it's too long. I'm just going to hide it. And then I'm assuming when we either sew or crochet all the boxes together, or blocks, sorry, we can hide any excess pieces that are sticking out. But yeah, so that is that. I'm just going to go ahead and remove all these stitch markers. Comment below, let me know what you think. So we have one more block in this kit to do. Again, I am going to start this year to finish off this Afghan. So we'll be pulling the next booklet for this Afghan. I do have some other revolving kits that I'm going to be doing. We have to finish the Frozen kit. I'm doing Elsa. I want to try finishing the Frozen kit before the end of winter. I might not do all the characters. We'll see. And then I have some Dollar Tree kits that I have to get through. So we're going to be doing that as well. At any rate, here is our square, you guys. Comment below, let me know how it went. I don't even know which side is right up. I think it's this way. And I don't know, let's just choose. Okay, here we are. Alright. So, thank you guys so much for watching. This is Isms by Josie. Please share, like, and subscribe for future videos. And I'll see you again next time. Thanks. Bye.